very good afternoon to all, and welcome back to Tally CA Connect. So, thank you so much for joining with us every Wednesday on this forum, learning about TallyPrime, discovering new features of what TallyPrime have to offer. And today's topic of discussion is on public demand. As I can say, we received a lot of requests on, templates for Excel import on GSTR 2B and how they can automate GST accounting. And so, on that note, we have expert for our today's session. Please welcome CA Henik Shah, practicing CA from Mumbai, expert in automating day-to-day tasks in CA office for his clients. Henik ji is a tally evangelist and have been kind enough to suggest this topic and help us address this issue for this very focused CA community forum. And he continues to take sessions in various important forums such as of ICICA chapters associations. So thank you, Henik ji, first taking out time for our CA Connect and addressing this topic, which we have been trying to solve for long. And since today's topic is on automation of accounting entries, before we proceed, I would like to make an announcement on Tally Era. I'm sure most of you have already seen here, but re-emphasizing on Docs by Era, that is our AI-powered invoice processor, or not just invoice, it's a document processor. You can process purchase orders and everything. So what there's a mobile app where you can take a picture and get the entries done within your TallyPrime. And so there's an app available already. For more details, please do go to our website. Or I can just send the web link in the chat as well. Please do try for yourself. There's an early access option as well. So if you like it, please do start with Tally Era and save for more time. So Henik ji, on that note, thank you so much once again for suggesting this great topic. And we can see we have 170 plus people already joining with us within 2 minutes of starting this session. So only shows how important this topic of discussion and how popular this requirement was. So thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, Komalji. Thank you, Tally Solutions, for providing me with the platform to showcase the skills which are necessary considering the coming times of your tax audit season. Well, before I begin with my topic, as Komalji correctly said about Tally Era is a wonderful feature brought to you by Tally so as to make the accounting process seamless and, more importantly, have the AI capabilities as well. With the changing times, it is imperative for us that we automate our own processes. We try and reduce to the extent possible manual involvement. Obviously, a human review remains till the end, but base level work, that is data entry type of work, can be reduced with all these features. Komalji, if you have some Tally Era video on Tally solutions or something, we can take that video right now or at the end so that the
Yeah,
participants
I'll
can see the
send the
features.
link. So considering the topic, we can start with your topic. I'll put the link in the chat for Tally.
Okay, okay, no worries, no worries. Fine. So what we'll do is, I'll start. Sound not clear. When we had tested, the sound was
So
clear.
actually, sound is perfectly fine. So I'll request the person, Ms. Sheetal, actually. Thank you, Mr. Parag, for confirming. I think please do check at your end or using earphones might help. Yeah, thank you.
Now let's understand a couple of things before we begin with our topic. This is the format of your regular GSTR2B. Now, if you look at it, you'll see the name of the supplier, the GSTIN, a couple of other details, place of supply, not the state in which the supplier is located, but the place of supply. Then you have supply attracting reverse charge, taxable value, GST related columns, that is CGST, SGST, IGST, and a couple of other things as well, ITC availability, etc., etc. These are the basic details that you get with your GSTR2B. Back in the day, what used to happen was you used to get a rate column in GSTR2B which frankly was really very helpful when it came to automate accounting, and not just your regular accounting, mind you, your rate wise accounting. Because in your multiple returns, especially say maybe composite returns or maybe your annual returns, you need your year wise, sorry, apologies, your rate wise bifurcations. That is in your purchases, that is in your purchases of what GST rate, how much have you made the purchase. That is what is required as of now. Even in your GSTR 99C, you are not really required to mention the HSN of the purchases. For sales, obviously, you are required to mention the HSN, but for purchases, you are still not required. Hopefully, they'll continue the exemption this year as well. Let's see. Okay. So, what happens is you have this base data that you get probably every month on the 14th. Okay. Every month on the 14th, right? Now, every one of you who is attending with me must be having those type of clients who may not really have their documentation in line, or they may be those type of people who would be going ahead with the sales purchases. So the sales as in your GSTR1 and everything is filed on time. Your ITC is probably taken as per GSTR2B, and at the end of it, during your audits, during your GST annual returns, they come up and say, now finalize our books of accounts. How many of you have those clients? Please say a yes in the chat box. Let's try and make it interactive. Yes, 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 yes. I think almost all. Yes, true. Because, well, frankly, that is how the nature of clientele is. And at the same time, we have to ensure that our work gets done smoothly so that the review of financial accounts, that is your audit part and everything, can be done on time. The other thing, the other issue that many chartered accountants face, mine will tell to do it yourself as you are CA. Same here, Sagar sir, same here. So what happens is, say, similarly, now there is another issue that we face as chartered accountants, as accountants, whatever. In the month of September and October, you have your CA inter as well as college exams. So your articles, your junior employees, a good lot of your staff would be on study leave. On study leave, on holidays. Usually at my place, what happens is they will complete the 31st July due date. Then probably a 5 to 10 days more to maybe finish off the business ITRs. And then they'll be like, sir, we are going on study leave. As simple as that. Now, for us, it becomes really very difficult to identify what work is pending and actually how to complete the work. In other words, say for example, a couple of months purchases are done, not done. Acha, not just from an accounting standpoint, but later on, even from the GST reconciliation standpoint, we have to see whether every purchase has been accounted or not. In case if there are certain purchases which are mentioned in your GSTR 2B and your client has not provided you the invoices, you can very well provide this as a value added service and tell them that, boss, these invoices are missing. Please have a look at your records as well. And more often than not, the client will find it in somewhere in their email, in some other file, which was some unpaid file, in somewhere in the lower part of the drawer, which they forgot later on. And then probably during your Diwali cleaning, they come up, Arey, we lost these invoices. Happens? Give me a yes in the chat box. Happens? Yes, 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 yes. So, today we are here to basically eliminate this issue by and large. And not just eliminating this issue, understanding very, very logically how to actually create a template in Tally so that tomorrow, if the to be format changes, or if you encounter some new type of format with, say, for example, sales, or there is something else that can be done, you are logically so strong with your concept of this mapping template import that come what may, you can use the inbuilt feature of Tally and take it ahead, take your work ahead without falling into the need of buying a third party utility or some commercial other thing. Basically speaking, our benefit by using the inbuilt feature of Tally and automating GST accounting on the purchase side of the story. Sir, in case if you are interested in knowing the sales side of the story as to how in the sales, whenever, say, for example, you are getting POS data, point of sale software data, or maybe the billing software is something different. In case if you are getting that type of data and you want to know that how do we automate sales accounting in Tally using mapping templates, I have a video with Tally solutions. We had delivered this lecture last year. Uh, Let me show you. Automating sales data imports in TallyPrime with smart templates. We have got more than 5,000 views. It was 8 months ago. We had posted this thing. So basically, in case if you are interested in the sales side of the story, please do refer this video. This is again my own video wherein I had explained the sales side. If you are interested in understanding how Doc Era works, I believe Komal ji has shared a link right now. You can definitely have a look at that as well. Fine, fair enough. Okay, I'll keep the session with a mix of Hindi and English because what happens is we have our friends from the south of India who may not be so comfortable with Hindi, and we are our friends from the north of India who may not be so comfortable with English. So हम Hindi and English दोनों में session को continue करेंगे. Thank you for letting me know. Fine. Now understand a couple of things logically. Just a minute. Yes. Understand a couple of things logically. होता क्या है? Sir, we have to enter a transaction in Tally, point number one. But before entering a transaction in Tally, we have to ensure that the ledger master is created. वो ledger का master होना चाहिए, तब जाके आपको ये एंट्री टैली में कर पाओगे, नहीं तो आपको वो ledger का master create करना पड़ेगा. Correct? So to automate something, the first and the foremost requirement is that ledger should be created. उसका ledger का एक master होना चाहिए, so that फिर आगे जाके हम जब transactions import करते हैं, when we automate the transaction import, it gets imported without any error, without any exception. Sorry. So first, we will focus on the master side of the story, then we will go to the transaction side of the story. Sir, master में हम क्या देखते हैं? What do we see when we are creating a new master? Logically thinking, nothing more than that. Sir, we are, for the purposes of this session, we are dealing with purchases. Yes. Sir, since we are dealing with purchases, हमें पता है कि purchases will be sundry creditors only. Obviously you may have subgroups, but simplicity के लिए we know कि purchases मतलब sundry creditor. ठीक है? हमें क्या लगता है? What do we need exactly whenever we are creating a new master? क्या लगता है? Name लगेगा. Obviously we will need the name. Under sundry creditors, now this is something that is fixed. Whenever we are importing the purchases, the grouping of the ledger will always be in sundry creditor. और हमें क्या लगेगा? Sir, we will need the state. Assuming that from whomsoever we are purchasing. Yes, sir, I am mixing Hindi and English both for the benefit of everybody. Assuming that we are purchasing goods from India only, Indian goods, okay? We will need the state as well. हमें state लगेगा. So दो चीजें जो हमें लगेंगी, two things that we will need. Thing number one is your name of the ledger that we get directly in GSTR2B. Thing number two that we'll need is the state. State in India. हमें state लगता है. Then since we are importing stuff from GSTR2B, we know that the registration type will be regular. हम GSTR2B से import कर रहे हैं. For the purposes of this session, हम ऐसा समझते हैं कि जो सामने वाला पार्टी है जिससे हमने goods खरीदे हैं, our purchases are done only from regular GST suppliers. And the next thing that we will need is the GSTIN, हमें GSTIN लगता है. Now let's go back to GSTR to be format. Understand one thing, very logical. Sir, we have the GSTIN. GSTR 2B में हमारा GSTIN होता है. Yes. Sir, GSTR 2B में हमारा name of the ledger होता है. We have the name of the ledger as well in our GSTR 2B. However, something that we do not have in GSTR 2B, जो हमारे पास GSTR 2B में नहीं होता है, वो होता है state. Somebody will come up and say, sir, we have place of supply, na? No, 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 no. Mistaken. Understand? Even when your supplier, or rather your vendor, supplier will be out of Maharashtra, still you will get the place of supply as Maharashtra only. In my case, because my client is registered in Maharashtra, so I am taking it from Maharashtra's perspective. मेरा client महाराष्ट्र में registered है, so जो भी goods महाराष्ट्र से खरीदे बेचे जाएंगे वो CGST, SGST local होंगे. Okay. However, whenever somebody is outside Maharashtra, still the place of supply will be Maharashtra. Why? Because मेरा client Maharashtra का है. My client is of Maharashtra. And therefore, the three things that we require to create any master, which are the three things? The name of the ledger, the state in India, and ultimately, just a minute, and ultimately the GSTIN. So sir, हम क्या समझ रहे हैं कि in GSTR 2B हमारा name of the ledger and GSTIN mentioned होता है, but state name mentioned नहीं होता. In our GSTR 2B, we have the name of the ledger as well as the GSTIN, but we do not have the state name mentioned. Everybody with me? Understood? There is something that is not mentioned in GSTR 2B, and there are other things that are mentioned in GSTR 2B which we require to automatically import the masters. इतना समझा तो हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. सर, स्टेट वहां का लगेगा जहां का पार्टी है. एग्जैक्टली करेक्ट. स्टेट वहां का लगेगा जहां का पार्टी है. इन इंग्लिश, द स्टेट will be applicable where the party is registered. Now, understand the trick over here. Understand the trick over here. We have the GSTIN of the vendor with us. बराबर है? GSTIN of the vendor with us. बराबर है? Now, everybody knows, everybody who is attending this session knows that the first two digits of the GSTIN represent the state. बराबर ना? पहले दो डिजिट जो होते हैं, that is basically 27 represents Maharashtra. Yes, state code, exactly. So, हम जो सेल्स का, सॉरी, इन दिस केस इट इज परचेस, हम जो परचेस का टेम्पलेट बनाते हैं, हम जो परचेस का टेम्पलेट बनाते हैं, उसमें हमने क्या करना है कि हम एक ऐसा सिंपल सा फॉर्मूला लगा दें कि सर वो आगे के दो कैरेक्टर्स पढ़े. इट रीड्स द फर्स्ट टू कैरेक्टर्स, दैट इज द स्टेट कोड, एंड बाय यूजिंग अ, apologies, state code. Just a minute, I'm facing some issues over here. Fine. Now understand what we have done over here. Okay, and please keep this thing active. Okay. Understand what you have done over here in the template. We continued with our to be copy paste in the template. We did what we did, whatever GSTR to be we had, which is over here, whatever GSTR to be we have, which is over here, we just copied it and pasted it in the Excel file, in a separate Excel file. Now, where were we discussing just before this distraction happened? What were we discussing? Where were we? Is that, sir, we have the GSTIN, we have the legal name which is required for creation of a ledger master. But what we do not have is the state. We do not have the state. Agreed. But in that case, what we have is the state code. And for all those who understand basic Excel, what we can do is we can have two formulas at our disposal. Formula number one is left, L-E-F-T. Left formula to separate or isolate these two characters. That is the state code. And then what we can do is we can use the VLOOKUP formula to fetch the to fetch the state from the state code. Before I continue with this thing ahead, just wanted to understand, people, you have a fair idea of the VLOOKUP formula, right? I'll be explaining the VLOOKUP formula, no worries, but you have a fair idea, right? What VLOOKUP does. Thank you. Okay. So, what does your VLOOKUP formula refer to, and how does this thing work? Okay, let's continue. Now, understand this thing. What I did was to create this template. What I did was, firstly, I got all the names of the state. What did I get? All the names of the state from Tally's Ledger Masters itself. In other words, whenever you create a ledger master, you get a drop down in the state names as well, right? You get a drop down, Andaman, Nicobar, Arunachal Pradesh, this, that, etc., etc., etc. So what did I do? I copied all of those names and pasted it over here. Why? So that whenever later, when we do the automation part, there is no spelling mistake, no state name different from what it is in Tally. So say for example, if you see Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman Diu, we are at cell number B10. If you see Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman Diu, you'll realize that they have written it in a peculiar way. In Tally, we have written it in a peculiar way. Dadra, ampersand, then and Damandiu is your alphabet, that is words A and D and Damandiu. We have to ensure that the state name matches exactly the way it is in Tally. So that whenever in the template we create a column for the state name, we don't have to worry that we will get some error that boss, we cannot find this state name or the state name is different. You do not get that exceptional error. I hope you understood the logic of the state name part. I'll be explaining the VLOOKUP in some time. ये state name वाला concept समझा आपको? Basically speaking, जैसा tally में दिया हुआ है, जब हम कोई ledger master create करते हैं, जैसा tally में दिया हुआ है, हम वैसे का वैसा ही copy करके paste कर देंगे यहाँ पर. And on the left hand side, we will mention the state code as well. Left में हम उसका code भी mention कर देंगे. क्यों? क्योंकि आगे जाके later on हम VLOOKUP लगाएंगे. We will ensure that we put in the VLOOKUP formula so that we get the state name. State name का concept समझा? People understood? Yes. Thank you. Sir, where did in Tally you got the list? Sir, unfortunately, it was not the list. We had to get it individually. I will show you how. Just let me load the company again. I will show you how did I get it. Meanwhile, I will explain the VLOOKUP formula.
Yeah. And also there are questions in the Q&A if you want to take.
I am referring the chat. Q&A we have different.
Actually, sir,
Acha.
I would request that questions specifically to the topic better in Q&A, because even if we miss out and you continue, it will be easier to manage. Chat can get really overbearing after a while.
Okay, so I'll keep open the Q&A part then. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes. No worries. Okay, Ajay Pandeji has a question. While generating e-invoice for customer based in Maharashtra, supplier in Maharashtra, but supplied to UP, TallyPrime gives error. Ajay ji, although this is not a part of the topic, I'll just answer it in one line. That is that you'll have to see what your place of supply is. Usually over there, if you correctly mention the place of supply and the consignor consignee, this error should not come. Okay, Difa ji, can URD GST dealer can sell accounting or any other services outside the state? For every IGST, for every IGST dealer, sir, you have to get yourself registered in GST. So URD का सवाल नहीं आता है. We don't have a question of URD. Fine, let's continue. So as I was explaining, the VLOOKUP formula. What is the VLOOKUP formula all about? Understand. Let's have a quick Excel session right now so that you can understand that how the template idea has come up. Okay. Basically speaking, what VLOOKUP ensures is that in one table, which in this case is our B2B table, in one table, if we want to fetch value from some other table, which in this case in the formula sheet, we had this state table. So from one table, that is the B2B table, we want to get some data from some other table, which in this case is the state table in the formula sheet. Okay. So how do we do that? We have to give some reference, which in this case, as I was explaining, is the first two characters of the state code. That is why we have kept the formula left over here, left. Left A2. A2 is the cell number. What do we have in A2? We have the GSTIN in cell number. सर A2 में GST नंबर है. GST नंबर के फर्स्ट दो कैरेक्टर्स यानी कि सिर्फ 27 देखने के बाद हम एक्सेल को इंस्ट्रक्ट कर रहे हैं कि एक्सेल यू गो टू फॉर्मूला शीट इन दिस टेबल एंड फाइंड आउट कि 27 के सामने स्टेट कौन सा है. व्हाट इज द स्टेट बिसाइड्स द कैरेक्टर 27. सो एक्सेल फाउंड आउट महाराष्ट्र है. हमने क्या एक्सेल को इंस्ट्रक्शंस दिया? आई एक्सप्लेन इट इन हिंदी कि एक्सेल फर्स्ट सी दैट इन द GSTIN what is the first two characters from the left hand side, which in this case is 27. एंड भाई 27 को ढूंढ के तू जा इन द स्टेट टेबल एंड देख कि स्टेट कौन सा है. In English, you see what the first two characters are, that is the state code, and then go to the state table over here and see what is the name of the state as per the state code. So this is the formula of VLOOKUP with left. This is the formula of VLOOKUP with left. Once again, we had another thing that, sir, how do you get all the states? Sir, very simple, a bit of a manual task. Sir, say for example, this is the ledger. You go to the drop downs over here. You select all the drop downs and copy and paste it in the Excel file. थोड़ा manual काम है, but it is simple to be done. So asked my kid to do it and it was done. So we got a list over here. I am sharing the screen. The screen has to be visible.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it's visible.
Ah, okay. Happens. There may be some technical issues. No worries. Fine. So this was the basic of VLOOKUP with left function. For all those who may require still more help, I would suggest कि you go to YouTube and search a couple of videos in relation to VLOOKUP. You will get more idea. Second, and the most important part is, this video will also be available on YouTube after a couple of days. ये video भी YouTube पर available होगी. You refer this video again and copy or type the formula the way we have mentioned it over here so that आपका काम भी हो जाएगा. Your work will also be done in relation to the state name. I hope everybody is clear. Please share the state code list. Okay, I'll see with Komalji what can be done and how we can share this thing with everybody. Okay, Q&A answered. Sir, it is too basic. Sir, there are people who will require to understand the basic as well. Can't help. Fine, fair enough. So now we got what did we get? We got the state name. Okay, fair enough. Now let's quickly go through the master. How do we create a ledger master? Okay, so हमें क्या क्या details लगते हैं? Name, सन्ड्री क्रेडिटर वगैरह, स्टेट नेम एंड जीएसटी आई एन, बाकी की सारी चीजें जो हैं दे आर फिक्स्ड मोर और लेस. सन्ड्री क्रेडिटर इज फिक्स्ड, नेम ऑफ द कंट्री इज फिक्स्ड, रजिस्ट्रेशन टाइप इज फिक्स्ड. व्हाट इज वेरिएबल? नेम ऑफ द लेजर, state of that ledger, and GSTIN. These three things are variable. Okay. So, sir, now we will understand how to create a mapping template. Sir, mapping template हम कैसे बनाएंगे? Why? Because we want to automate the creation of ledger masters so that later on we can automate the entry into Tally. Okay. मेरे केस में I have already created one. That is why I went to alter. इन योर केस यू विल हैव टू गो टू क्रिएट. अगर आपने पहले से कुछ बना के नहीं रखा है तो यू विल हैव टू गो टू क्रिएट. मेरे केस में आई ऑलरेडी क्रिएटेड वन, सो आई वेंट टू ऑल्टर. आपके केस में यू विल गो टू क्रिएट, यू विल स्टिल गेट द सेम स्क्रीन. यस. सो सर व्हाट डिड वी डू? सो सर व्हाट डिड वी डू? फर्स्ट थिंग्स फर्स्ट, we named the template and we gave it a link as to where our source file is saved. Sir, हमारी source file is saved in, say for example, in this folder. So हमने उसको एक file path दे दिया. We gave the file path as to where the source folder, source Excel file in the source folder is saved. Now creation. We gave it a name. हमने इसको नाम दिया GST creditor import. You can give your name, whatever you type. Type of master is ledger. Why? Because we are creating a ledger automatically. Sir, हम ledger automatically create कर रहे हैं. Now, say for example, name. Name, sir, in Excel. In Excel, what is the column header name of the ledger name that we want to create? Sir, हमारे Excel में column header name क्या है? हमारे Excel में column header name is the trade name, legal name that we have over here. Trade name, legal name. This is what we have, and this is what we have mapped it over here. See, you get all these options available, and you have mapped the ledger name as trade name, legal name. Group name. Now, sir, what is group name? In our GSTR2B, obviously you do not have a column for group name. GSTR2B में group name का तो कहीं column होता नहीं है. But we know कि हर ledger जो हम import कर रहे हैं वो क्या है? Sundry creditor ही है. तो हम specify fixed field value करके, specify fixed field value which is called option second, specify fixed field value करके sundry creditor कर देंगे. What does this essentially mean? Is that we are instructing Tally that whenever you import using this template, the name of the template is GST creditor import. Whenever you import using this template, you have to ensure that all the ledgers are created with the grouping sundry creditor. Okay. Then state. State, sir, specifically we created a special column for state. यहाँ पर हमने state का एक specifically column बनाया. Why? Because we knew that in GSTR2B we do not have a separate state column. How did we create a state column? I explained you. मैंने just अभी समझाया कि VLOOKUP का formula लगा के हमें ये state column मिला. Country, again specified fixed field value. We are assuming that whatever purchases we have made are from India. हमने India से ही माल लिया है, बाहर के देश से माल नहीं लिया है. GST registration type. Again, we are assuming that every party that we have purchased goods from is a regular GST party. And GST registration, GST IN of the supplier. This is the column name in Excel, जो कि यहाँ पर है. Understand? ये रहा ना column A, ये रहा. Obviously, you will till the time you don't try it for yourself, it will be difficult for you to गो ahead. बट व्हाट आई सजेस्ट इज, ये जैसे वीडियो यूट्यूब पे अपलोड होती है आप भी आपके GSTR 2B के साथ ट्राई करना. यू विल अंडरस्टैंड इट. ट्रस्ट मी, इट इज वेरी सिंपल. एंड एक बार फॉर वंस इफ यू get it correct, then forever you are never gonna look back in your life. It has taken time for me as well, but I hope logically you are trying to understand that what all details are static, what all details we require. क्या क्या डिटेल स्टैटिक है, क्या क्या डिटेल हमें लगती है करके. I hope you have understood. Let me take a couple of questions now. Sir, please share the state code list. Okay, I'll see how I can share. Okay, this is answered. Okay, which version of Tally is used? Sir, any version after 4. I believe mapping templates were introduced in TallyPrime release 4, and then after that any version. As of now, I am working in the latest release. मैं latest release में काम कर रहा हूँ. Okay, both the queries are answered. Both questions are answered. Let's see the chat box. What do we have? Okay, what kind of entries come in this? Sir, Bajrang sir, GSTR2B, purchase, GSTR2B. That is what we are referring to here. Fair enough. मैपिंग टेम्पलेट फॉर मास्टर्स का लॉजिक क्या है समझा एवरीबॉडी अंडरस्टूड व्हाट इज द लॉजिक फॉर मैपिंग टेम्पलेट्स मास्टर ऑब्वियसली यू विल वंस ट्राई इट आउट फॉर योरसेल्फ एंड देन यू विल कम टू नो इन डिटेल बट एज ऑफ नाउ you understood so that I take the session ahead. Rate sir, we'll come to it. Rate is transaction में पहले sir masters बनाए. Let's focus on creating the master. Sir, without the master we cannot go ahead with the transaction. Can you show the mapping part again? I'll just share the screen once. Later on, you can refer the YouTube video as well. I'll share the screen once. Yes. So in the mapping part, whatever fields are required to be mentioned so as to create a ledger automatically, that is what we have mentioned over here. मैपिंग टेम्पलेट में जो भी हमें मैंडेटरी फील्ड लगती है फॉर क्रिएटिंग ऑफ अ न्यू मास्टर वो हमने मेंशन किया है इसमें इन द टेम्पलेट देयर आर टू थिंग्स थिंग नंबर वन जो डिटेल्स वेरिएबल है व्हाट आर डिटेल्स आर वेरिएबल नेम ऑफ द लेजर द स्टेट ऑफ द लेजर एंड द GSTIN ऑफ द लेजर all these things are variable that we have given the column header whatever things are fixed for example group of the ledger that is sundry creditor country of the ledger which is India and GST registration type that is regular we have kept it as fixed field value. Fair enough. Can we import bank statement Excel PDF format? We'll have a separate session for it. Komalji will be the appropriate person to answer that thing. Fair enough. Now let us see. Sir, for every to be or every data that you import, you first have to create the masters for it. Else, what will happen is you won't be able to import the transactions. Why? Because it will say that the master does not exist. हिंदी में बोलूं तो सर कोई भी टेम्पलेट इंपोर्ट करने से पहले कोई भी ट्रांजैक्शन इंपोर्ट करने से पहले उसका मास्टर होना जरूरी है नहीं तो क्या दिक्कत होगी कि सर वो ट्रांजैक्शन इंपोर्ट होगा ही नहीं वाई बिकॉज वो बोलेगा कि रेफरेंस मास्टर इज मिसिंग उसमें मास्टर है ही नहीं टैली में मास्टर क्रिएटेड है ही नहीं ऐसा बोलेगा डुप्लीकेट लेजर सर आई विल कवर दैट पार्ट डुप्लीकेट लेजर वाला डोंट वरी विपिन सिंह सर आई विल कवर दैट पार्ट नो वरीज ठीक है so now we will import some master let's go through the Q&A and then we will import some master if the ledger is already there then it will not be created right yes वो कैसे create नहीं होता है वो मैं बता दूंगा sir is there any specific template to import the GSTR2B into Excel no sir there is no specific template that is the beauty of this session I am trying to explain it to you how logically you have to think whenever you have to create your own template all the questions are answered okay I'll just close this Excel file now for the benefit of everybody let's see the chart of accounts once. In the chart of accounts, you see that there is only one sundry creditor. सिर्फ एक ही है बाकी कोई sundry creditor फिलहाल created नहीं है. This is what you will see. Okay. So now what we will do is from the same GSTR2B, from the same GSTR2B, we will automatically create the masters first. Then we will create the transactions. That is, we will import the transactions. पहले masters बना लेते हैं फिर हम transactions करेंगे. Okay. I hope everybody is with me. So what we do is we go to import and then import may we select masters. Masters may you have to give the file path where your file path is saved. In my case, the file path is saved over here. We have to give the file path and in the file path worksheet. So say for example, my worksheet is B2B, GST creditor import, type of master ledger. Now over here, let's pay some attention over here. We got a couple of queries that sir, what if the ledger is already created? अगर ledger पहले से created हो तो क्या करना चाहिए? In that case, what we will do is we will always say to ignore duplicate. This is the one-stop solution, sir. ये रामबाण इलाज है. Ignore duplicate. What you are essentially trying to say is that if the ledger is already created, तो tally दोबारा create मत करना. Do not create the ledger again. Ignore duplicate. I hope ये ignore duplicate सबको समझा. Everybody understood that what we are trying to explain is कि do not create another ledger. So now it will give me a summary that, sir, number of sundry creditors probably is around 22. And the moment you click on import, and I'll see the chart of accounts for you guys. देखिए सारे सन्ड्री क्रेडिटर्स क्रिएट हो गए यहाँ पर. एक जरा ओपन करके देख लेते हैं. सर सी, विद द नेम, विद द स्टेट नेम, विद द GSTIN, सब रेगुलर अच्छे से क्रिएट हो गया. ऑल दोस हैव बीन क्रिएटेड करेक्टली. In case if you want to see some other state, sir, some other state also 07 Delhi, all it is created appropriately, correctly. Yes, let's see what do we have. Okay, fine. So, sir, automatically ledgers are created. Everybody understood this thing? Sir, mapping template banaya हमने. In the mapping template, we ensured that we have some variable part. Variable part क्या होता है? Name of the client, GSTIN, state. State के लिए we put up a separate column. We used VLOOKUP as well as the left function. Okay, and we just understood that, sir, at the click of a second, the click of a button, and within a second, sir, are all the new, sorry, are all the new ledger masters were created. Thank you. Now, we will go to the most important part, or rather the crux part of the session, I should be saying, that is the import of transactions. Import of transactions. YouTube channel name is tallysolutions.com. YouTube channel is our tallysolutions.com. Tally Solutions, you have the YouTube over here. Let me just see. This is the Tally Solutions YouTube channel. Website is tallysolutions.com. Let us understand transactions. Before understanding transactions, let us quickly go through one transaction once and understand what is the thing that we actually require in a transaction. So, what all do we require whenever we have a transaction to be automatically entered in Tally? Or as such, in general, what are the details that we require in a transaction? Right now, we are dealing with GSTR2B. So, हमें क्या लगता है? GSTR2B, that is the purchase side of the story. So, हम purchase का कैसे करेंगे? That is what we are seeing. So, number one thing that we require is the date. Sir, क्या GSTR2B में date होती है? Do we have date in the GSTR2B? The answer is yes. We have the date over here. We have the date over here in our GSTR2B. Then we require the supplier invoice number and date. Obviously, these two details also we have in our GSTR2B. Sir, party account name? Yes, sir. We have in our GSTR2B, obviously. Sir, these details, for all those who face some issues in relation to Tally's validation checks for GST, these details are also required to be mentioned. Now, what are these details? Sir, name of the party, obviously, state of the party. Sir, state of the party, we created a separate column. हमने एक अलग column बनाया for the state of the party. Regular GSTIN. Sir, place of supply. Place of supply is something that you have ready-made in your GSTIN. It is over here. Place of supply यहाँ पर पहले से mentioned होता है. Sir, once again, logically, state of the party and place of supply can be different. Place of supply already GSTR2B में mentioned होता है, और जो state है, for state we created a separate column. Sir, now in our GSTR2B, we do not have HSN wise details of purchases. Nowhere HSN is mentioned. Nowhere HSN is mentioned. But what we require for annual report perspective, what we require for, say, for example, your audit, your 99C perspective, is the rate. कि सर कितने रेट का कितना गुड्स हमने खरीदा है इन योर 9C फॉर ऑल दोस हु फाइल जीएसटी और 9C आल्सो यू रियलाइज दैट in your GSTR 9C, you have to give a rate-wise summary bifurcation. Even for your GSTR 4, I believe you have to give some rate-wise summary as well. वहां पर भी होता है, but 9C में तो होता ही है. That is for a fact. We have a question. Let me just take it and then we'll. The important part of GST reconciliation, as the clients normally provide us with tally data on month basis, and all entries are booked therein. Then the master ledgers are created and transactions are booked. Sir, for that purpose, wherein your clients are accounting it really very well, for that purpose, this thing is not applicable. This thing is applicable in a case wherein you are doing the accounting or you are teaching somebody how to do the accounting and the source data is in a jeopardy. You don't have the appropriate source data, so you are referring to GSTR2B and automating the accounting from GSTR2B. That is what the purpose is of the session. I have answered the Q&A. Okay, and we have one thing in the chat. The 3 GST. Okay. So all by location. So how to import in Tally? Sir, mapping template. This is the way out. You have to go through the mapping template. You may have a different voucher type. So sir, voucher type कैसे change करने का वो मैं आपको समझा दूंगा. Don't worry on that. So what we have done in this, what we have done, once again, back to the session, what we have done in this is that we have ensured that the rate at which the goods are purchased becomes our inventory. Let me do an Alt C and I will show you. Sorry, just a minute. What we have done is we have clearly mentioned that the rate of the GSTIN becomes the name of the stock item itself. Sir, why we have done it? For simplicity purposes, so that our accounting is automated really very well. And any which ways, this was what I was explaining at the beginning part of the session. Any which ways, the thing is that for purchases, you still don't require the HSN summary. For sales, you require the HSN summary. So this is how we have done. Now, sir, a question may come up as to what if we have multiple rates in the same voucher. सर अगर मल्टीपल रेट्स होंगे इन द सेम वाउचर तो हम कैसे करेंगे अगर ऐसा एक क्वेश्चन आता है तो प्लीज बेयर विथ मी फॉर 5 minutes आई विल एक्सप्लेन इट टू यू दैट पार्ट एज वेल नो वरीज Okay. So, sir, basically, this is what the entry system is. This is how it works. That you have your quantity, you have your UQC, then what you have is the CGST, SGST, and at the end of it, you just save this voucher. These are the basic details that you require for every transaction to be entered into Tally. यही basic detail है जो आपको लगने वाली है for entering any transaction into Tally. अगर हमारे पास कुछ डिटेल GSTR 2B में है सो उसको ऐसे ही इंपोर्ट कर लेंगे अगर कोई डिटेल जीएसटीआर 2B में नहीं है तो हम सेपरेट कॉलम बनाएंगे if we have some detail in GSTR 2B we'll import it as it is if we do not have some detail in GSTR 2B say for example the rate the GST rate this is something that we do not have in GSTR 2B so we will create separate column for rate of the item. Everybody understood what the basic requirements are? I hope you understood what the basic requirements are for creation of any automated accounting entry in Tally. Now we will see the mapping template, how the mapping template works. Okay, before mapping template, let me take some Q&A. Sir, in 2B, you get suppliers for details for goods as well as services. Then how do we do? Sir, as of now, we import everything in goods. Then obviously, while doing your reconciliation, while doing your audit and stuff, if you require it to be bifurcated, then you can obviously alter the entry to bifurcate. But for the purposes of this session, we are seeing that all the entries are imported at once. एक साथ ही सारे entries import हो जाएंगे. Okay, I have answered both the questions. Okay. Sir, you not know my point. Vipin sir, I will suggest you raise this point at the end of the session. I will definitely answer your query. मैं पक्का answer कर दूंगा खाली end of the session में ये query raise कर देना. Fair enough. Now understand the mapping template. The template is something
Mr.
that will
Henik, just saying because it's already about to be 4. So if we
yes.
can skip Q&A and first complete the entire content and then take the question.
Okay, no worries. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for suggesting this. We will do as Komal ji is saying, हम सारे queries at the end of the session ही ले लेंगे. We will take all question and answers at the end of the session. Thank you. Okay. Now let us understand how to create the template for transactions. Transactions के लिए template कैसे बनाएंगे? In my case, since I've already made, I will go to the transactions alter part. In your case, you will go to the create part. Create over here. Transactions create. मैं जाऊंगा transactions alter में. Why? Because I have already created the template to be shown to everybody. You will go to create. I'll go to alter. The screen still remains the same. Sir, what we will do is we will first give the file path where our Excel file is saved. We will first give the file path and then this screen will open up. When then this screen will open up. So once this screen is opening up, let's understand the template. Sir, first things first. Do you want to save this template for only this company or all the companies on this computer? Now understand the feature. ये बहुत अच्छा feature है of Tally. This is a very good feature that Tally provides. Basically speaking, what happens is every company may have their own specific template, their own specific requirement. So in such a case, what you can do is you can specify this company. Or you are of the view that all of my companies have got the same template, might as well every company should get imported in the same way. Every company's data better be automatically imported. So you can select all companies as well. In Hindi, once again, I'll say कि अगर आपको चाहिए कि ये ही कंपनी में इस प्रकार का टेम्पलेट रहे तो यू कैन सिलेक्ट दिस कंपनी और आपको चाहिए कि सर नहीं इस पीसी पे इस कंप्यूटर पे जितनी भी कंपनीज हैं सबके लिए मैं सेम टेम्पलेट यूज करना चाहता हूं तो यू कैन सिलेक्ट ऑल कंपनीज ओवर हियर then name of the template sir in this case what you have mentioned is purchase import from GSTR to be and type is accounting voucher. Now understand sir once what I'll do is I'll open the same tally again so that I can give you a cross reference of what we are doing right now. Let me just open the same tally again. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Meanwhile, let's understand the other part of the template. Okay. Now, sir, we were seeing that we were going to do it rate wise. हम जो entry करेंगे accounting, वो हम करेंगे rate wise. So, sir, first हमें जो एक column बनाना पड़ेगा, that column will be the rate column in itself. Sir, back in the day, we used to get rate columns from your GSTR2B itself, but now we do not get the rate column from GSTR2B. So, what we do is we create a rate column. सर हम रेट कॉलम बना लेंगे अंडरस्टैंड सर रेट कॉलम कैसे बनती है बेसिकली स्पीकिंग you sum up all the GST taxes CGST SGST IGST divided by the taxable value into 100 simple है sir GST rate divided by taxable value into 100 will give you the rate common sense and we have added and what we have done is we have added a round function over here. सर ये राउंड का क्या काम होता है अंडरस्टैंड at times you may not get the exact round figure of 5 or 18 or something you may get something like 17.996 17 point this 4 point something this that so therefore we use a round function and in the round function some digits, that is number of digits to be 0, so that after decimal we get nothing and it automatically rounds it to the next whole number. हिंदी में मैं अगर समझाऊं तो राउंड फंक्शन का काम ही ये होता है कि डेसिमल वो पूरे का पूरा हटा दे एंड जो नेक्स्ट होल नंबर होता है जैसे 5 18 वट एवर 19 20 एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा वो पूरा होल नंबर दे हमें राउंड फंक्शन का मतलब ही वो बनता है in other words first what did we do was we gave a sum sir sum and then calculated the rate सम ऑफ व्हाट, CGST SGST IGST डिवाइडेड बाय द टैक्सेबल वैल्यू, जिससे हमें रेट मिला। और रेट क्योंकि हमें डेसिमल में नहीं चाहिए, हमें होल नंबर में चाहिए, इसीलिए हमें एक राउंड का फंक्शन दे दिया उसको। नाउ सर, if we have multiple rates, say for example in the first example itself we have multiple rates, and therefore the total number came to around 20. Sir, if you understand, GST में कोई 20% रेट नहीं है. You have 18, you have 28, you have 40 etc, but 20 कोई रेट नहीं है GST में. So sir, when we get a rate as 20, how do we account for it in tally? Else you will get an error, right? So how do we account for it in tally? Now this is a clever trick that we have done over here. This is a very clever trick. I will explain it to you. What we did was we again used the VLOOKUP function. We again use the VLOOKUP function over here. What we are trying to explain, understand, is that, sir, if the rate comes to 5, 18 or 28, if the rate comes to 5, 18 or 28, जो stock item name हमने tally में पहले से create करके रखा है, the stock item name that we have already created in tally is 5, 18 and 28 itself. जो sir, while calculating the rate, we calculate the rate over here. Whatever the rate comes, if it is 5, 18, 28, the stock item name is 5, 18, 28 created in tally. However, अगर 5, 18, 28 नहीं है, अगर 5, 18, 28 नहीं है, तो then it has to mention it as multiple. Sir, how do we get it? By using the formula of if error. यहाँ पर है ना सर, देखिए if error का फंक्शन है. if error, अगर VLOOKUP में if error, अगर VLOOKUP में हमें कोई रेट नहीं मिलती है, सर रेट कब नहीं मिलेगी? व्हेन वी हैव मल्टीपल रेट्स. अगर मल्टीपल रेट है तो हमें सर 5, 18, 28 का नंबर नहीं मिलेगा, हमें तो भलता ही नंबर मिलेगा. We will get some different number altogether. Then what is has to do is it has to mention the word multiple. Then what it has to do is it has to mention the word multiple. And then sir, what we did was we did a clever trick in tally. What we did was हमने सर एक स्टॉक आइटम क्रिएट कर दिया विद द नेम मल्टीपल, एंड सर उसमें रेट मेंशन नहीं किया यहाँ पर. So that whenever you get a stock item with the rate multiple, you can go back to that only those purchase invoices जहां पर stock item rate is multiple, only those purchase invoices and bifurcate it correctly. इतनी मेहनत बचती है. We can save so much of time and effort. Sir, I hope everybody is with me in this case. Concept of multiple. Sir, why concept of multiple? Because we want to save time right now. We just want to ensure that our transactions are entered in tally. Then ultimately we can go to the stock summary. हम stock summary में वापस जाके वो multiple का purchase bills मांग के, asking the purchase bills for the multiple rate item, what we can do is we can bifurcate it accordingly, so that our time is saved tremendously. This is what the entire logic is of this mapping template and the special columns that we have mentioned it in the mapping template. Fine. I hope you have got this thing. And the concern that everybody had, that sir, how do we account अगर multiple rate items है, अगर multiple है तो कैसे करेंगे? I hope that query is resolved. Now, this company, I'll just open it up. Give me a minute. Just one Q&A that we have. Okay, let it open, and meanwhile we'll see the mapping template for transactions. Sir, हम mapping template देखते हैं transactions का. Once again, आपके केस में you'll have to go for purchases. In my case, you'll have to go for create. In my case, for purchases, since I've already created the template, मैंने पहले से बना के रखा है, तो I'm going for alter. मैं alter के लिए जा रहा हूँ. Name that I have given is purchase import from GSTR to B. Whatever name you want to give, you can give. आप जो चाहिए वो नाम दे सकते हैं. Type of voucher, accounting voucher, and we will start. Okay. So first things first, over here, what do we see is the voucher type, that is purchase. So sir, what voucher type name? Do we have the voucher type name mentioned anywhere in our GSTR 2B? The answer is no. So it is a fixed field value. And what is the fixed field value? Purchase. That is, hamara voucher type name is purchase. That is a fixed value. We do not have it mentioned anywhere in the GSTR 2B. So we give it a fixed field value as purchase. Sir, voucher date. Voucher date, do we have in GSTR 2B? Yes, we have it in GSTR 2B. It is over here. So this is the voucher date. Buyer supplier state. Sir, buyer supplier state we do not have in the GSTR 2B. We have created a separate column for buyer supplier state. That is over here. So we give the column header of buyer supplier state. That is the state which is over here. Sir, supplier invoice number and supplier invoice date. Once again, sir, supplier invoice number, supplier invoice date, we have it over here. So, sir, we have mentioned it in the mapping template. And where do we get the source detail from? We get it from here. Supplier invoice number and supplier invoice date. I hope you understand the three screens that are going on. जो तीन screens घूम रही हैं आपको समझा होगा कि हर ट्रांजैक्शन की जो भी बेसिक डिटेल लगती है वो हम मैपिंग टेम्पलेट में मेंशन करते जाते हैं एंड वो डेटा एक्सेल में कहां पर है वेयर इज द डिटेल in the excel file in our excel file that we provided over here. So say for example invoice number is over here. This is something that we provided over here. Whatever details are required, जो detail लगती है, all those details are being mapped in the template, and in the template from where do we get the source data? We are mentioning the column headers over here from the Excel file. Sir, change mode. Now, what is this change mode? Sir, understand, for all those who use Tally very frequently, you know that this view is item invoice view. ये item invoice है. This view is item invoice view. So change mode, I have decided that whatever I want should be in this view. इस view में आना चाहिए. इसके लिए I have mentioned it as specified fixed field value item invoice. Voucher number, invoice number. Now, sir, buyer bill to from trade name, buyer supplier country, buyer supplier GST registration type. ये सब क्या चक्कर है? What is this all about? Understand. Sir, over here, we get the party account name. And when you click ahead, what you get is the party details. Now, sir, this is very important from your GST other reports perspective that we have in Tally. Say, for example, your GSTR1, your GSTR3B, your e-invoice as well, in case if you are looking at the sales side of things. Sir, these details are mandatorily to be mentioned. Mandatory, sir, these details are mandatorily to be mentioned uh, um, in your tally entry while doing your entry, so that whenever you go to reports, your reports come in clean without uncertain transactions. सर ये सब डिटेल्स मैंडेटरीली मेंशन करनी पड़ती है सो दैट हम जो जीएसटी के रिपोर्ट्स बाद में देखते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल योर GSTR1, योर 3B रिपोर्ट्स, योर एनुअल रिपोर्ट्स, तो वो अनसर्टेन ट्रांजैक्शन में ना दिखे वो एंट्रीज, इसके लिए ये डिटेल्स मेंशन करना जरूरी है. सो बिल फ्रॉम name of the party, this is what you have mentioned here. Bill from name of the party, that is trade name legal name. Sir, trade name legal name कहां पर है? वो यहाँ पर है in the template. Country, sir, we said country हमारा fixed field value India, हमने इंडिया से ही माल लिया है. Buyer supplier GST registration type, sir, fixed field value regular, हमने regular party से ही माल लिया है. Buyer supplier GSTIN UIN, sir, first column ये रहा, GSTIN of the supplier. This is what we have mapped over here. Answer, buyer supplier place of supply. This was what I was explaining earlier. मैंने पहले समझाया था कि सर प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई हमारे पास GSTR 2B में मेंशनड होता है, स्टेट नेम मेंशन नहीं होता, बट GSTR 2B में प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई मेंशनड होता है. So we will take it ahead. Now, sir, what is the concept of top ledger, bottom ledger? Understand. Sir, this is the top ledger, party account name. Sir, this is the top ledger, party account name. And what is the bottom ledger? Sir, purchases and your GST ledgers are bottom ledgers. Rule of thumb. Whenever it comes to purchases, what is the top ledger? The party account name. And what is the bottom ledger? your purchase and your GST ledgers. They are the top ledgers, bottom ledgers, rule of thumb. सर उसमें नहीं, rule of thumb के हिसाब से सोचने का. Once again I'll repeat. Top ledger मतलब party account name, bottom ledger मतलब purchases and your GST ledgers. So sir, top ledger में if you see, sir top ledger में हमें लगता क्या है basically understand. हमें ledger का नाम लगेगा, obviously ledger का नाम लगेगा. So where is the ledger name, trade name, legal name? That we have it over here. सर हमें क्या लगता है, लेजर अमाउंट लगता है. सर व्हाट इज द लेजर अमाउंट? सर अंडरस्टैंड, फॉर एवरी एंट्री दैट वी पास, डेबिट इक्वल टू क्रेडिट. 11 स्टैंडर्ड कॉमर्स, एकदम बेसिक लेवल ऑफ कॉमर्स. सर फॉर एवरी डेबिट देयर हैज टू बी अ क्रेडिट. बराबर है. सो सर टोटल इनवॉइस वैल्यू कहां पर मेंशन करेंगे? वो यहां पर करेंगे मेंशन. लेजर नेम इज योर ट्रेड नेम, दैट इज द नेम ऑफ द पार्टी जिससे हमने गुड्स खरीदे हैं. लेजर अमाउंट, व्हाट विल बी द लेजर अमाउंट? सर इनवॉइस टोटल. सर यहाँ पर इट इज मेंशन इनवॉइस टोटल एंड लेजर अमाउंट डेबिट क्रेडिट स्पेसिफाई फिक्स्ड फील्ड वैल्यू. नाउ सर व्हाट डज दिस मीन? वेरी सिंपल, अंडरस्टैंड. सर whenever you purchase goods from somebody, whenever you purchase goods from somebody, your school level commerce, sir what it will be? Purchase account debit to party account. Therefore, you debit the purchase account and credit the party account. Correct me if I'm wrong, sir. This is very basic, but people make mistakes here only whenever they create a mapping template of their own. Sir, purchase account debit to party account. Yes, correct me if I'm wrong. In the chat box. Purchase account debit to party account. Yes, sir. Very basic. Why are you asking such a question? Because in the mapping template, you have to map it using your basic concepts, the ones that you have learned back in your school days. Very basic concepts, sir. Very basic. So, party account name has to be credited. This is what we have mentioned over here. Top ledger, name of the party. Ledger amount is the total invoice amount, that is invoice voucher net amount. And ledger amount debit credit, sir, this has to be credited. Sir, people make mistakes over here only, and then they will raise the chat, and then they will ask queries that our mapping template is not functioning. Basic errors. Sir, now we go to the bottom ledger. Bottom ledger, sir, purchase. Sir, purchase, bottom ledger, as I was explaining. Sir, bottom ledger purchase. And in the purchase, ledger amount is the taxable value. Where do we get the taxable value? Sir, we get the taxable value here. Because purchase also you will require the taxable amount. Where is the taxable amount? Here. Sir, ledger amount debit credit. Purchases are to be debited. Please don't make that mistake. Purchases are to be debited. Party account has to be credited. So purchase, the specify fixed field value debit. Sir, now item name. Understand? Understand. After purchase, where did we go? We got to the name of the item. So in the purchase, you have the name of the item which is required to be mentioned. So in the purchase, in the mapping template, what do we do is we mention the item name. Sir, item name, rate item name. Sir, this is the special column that we created. Rate item name. This is the special column that we created over here. Why did we create a special column? So that whenever we have multiple rates in the same bill, एटलीस्ट द अकाउंटिंग एंट्री इज पास्ट. ऑटोमेटिकली अकाउंटिंग एंट्री तो हो जाना चाहिए. फिर सर मल्टीपल जो भी है वो बिल निकाल के देख लेंगे कि 5% कितना है, 18% कितना है. फॉर वंस द अकाउंटिंग एंट्री शुड बी पास, देन वी विल सी व्हाट इज द 5%, व्हाट इज द 18%. Actual quantity and billed quantity. Sir, we do not have anything else. So sir, we assume it to be 1. And what is the UQC? Unit. That is what we assume. Sir, item allocation, rate per what? Rate per unit. And then we have the item amount as well, which will be the taxable amount. Sir, taxable amount कहाँ से आया? Taxable amount आया यहाँ से. यहाँ से आया. Sir, basics of commerce. Nothing more than that. That is the whole logic of it. इतना ही है. Sir, once again, now we did the purchase. Sir, purchase, after purchase, what do we have, sir? CGST, SGST, IGST. Sir, ledger name, we have already created the ledger of IGST. Where do we get the amount of IGST from? Sir, we got the IGST amount from here, column number J. or rather column header J, integrated taxes and ledger amount debit credit. Sir, if purchases are debited, so sir, even IGST will be debited. Common sense. Ledger name IGST, because we have already created a ledger of IGST beforehand. Ledger amount, sir, integrated tax, we have the column over here. And ledger amount debit credit, common sense. That has to be debited. Bottom ledger, again, the same way we did for IGST, we will do for CGST. The same way we did for CGST, we will do for SGST. I hope you guys understood at least this part of the mapping template कि सर हमें डेबिट क्रेडिट करना है. सर हमें डेबिट क्रेडिट करना है. सर 11th स्टैंडर्ड कॉमर्स, हमें डेबिट क्रेडिट कैसे क्या करना है. सिंपल. And after debiting and crediting, we just have to ensure one very simple thing. One very simple thing. Understand? Sir, in the configure over here, you have to do this yes, no. So, since this video will be uploaded onto the Tally's YouTube channel, you can refer it to the configurations that we have done. Okay. We have to do this yes, no while configuring the mapping template for automated transactions in Tally. And the one that I was saying that we have to think of something is over here. Sir, understand in your GSTR 2B, we have something called a supply attracting reverse charge. Yes, sir. Sir, what do we have? Sir, when we avail some services of some transporter, sir, हम किसी transporter की service लेते हैं, तो supply attracting reverse charge, yes, हो सकता है, possible है. Why? Because वो transporter may not be registered or may be registered in GST. इस case में तो registered in GST, but it is not paying GST in the forward charge. So, sir, reverse charge में वो yes करके आ जाएगा. फॉर द पर्पसेस ऑफ दिस टेम्पलेट हमने स्पेसिफिकली बोला है कि सर जब भी सप्लाई अट्रैक्टिंग रिवर्स चार्ज अगर यस हुआ, whenever supply attracting reverse charge containing a yes, please exclude this transaction. इस transaction को temporarily exclude कर दो. The one question that may come up to somebody is, sir, that why do we have to exclude? Because understand, this is not supposed to be imported. ये जो रेट है ये इंपोर्ट नहीं होना चाहिए. जो ट्रांसपोर्टर का बिल है वो सिर्फ इतना ही होता है कभी भी. दिस इज द ओनली अमाउंट ऑफ द ट्रांसपोर्टर बिल. दिस इज नॉट सपोज टू बी imported. Whereas in all other transactions, the regular transactions, all of this is supposed to be imported. And not just the taxable value, the taxable and the tax, all are supposed to be imported. Sub import hona chahiye, but only in case of RCM transactions, we have to get only the taxable value. If we do not do this configuration, तो क्या होगा सर? वो RCM transaction भी regular के जैसे import कर देगा. This will be wrong. वो गलत होगा. इसके लिए we specifically say that supply attracting reverse charge, if it contains a yes, please ignore. Sir, once the template is created, now understand the progress. Sir, हमने क्या क्या किया? What have all we have done? Sir, we created that one-time template for import of masters and we have imported the masters. Sir, we created a one-time template for transactions and now we will import the transactions. So you go to import. Wait a second, let me just close this thing up. You go to import, you select transactions, you give the file path where your file is saved, you give the sheet path as well, and you click on import. Sir, all the B2B transactions are imported and in the way we want them to be imported. Sir, when there were multiple rates, यहाँ पर automatically multiple आ गया. So that now if I want, I can ask for this bill and get the bifurcations done. Sir, सारे import हो गए. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the beauty. Sir, सारे import हो गए the way we want in the perfect format. Everything is imported correctly. Sir, this is what the entire purpose of mapping templates is that automatically you import transactions into Ali, I hope you realized what we have done and how quick, कितना जल्दी ये चीज हो सकती है once you are habituated to this. एक बार आदत लग गई ना सर तो बड़ा मजा आता है ऐसे ऑटोमेटेड अकाउंटिंग करने में. Okay, now I'll take some questions. Biswas ji ka question hai. That means for services also, it opens the stock items. Yes, for the purposes of this template, yes. Sir, I have prepared an Excel sheet जहाँ पर taxable values and दो tax rates fill करेंगे. अगर आपको separate taxable value and tax amount मिल जाएगा. Yes, sir, you can do that thing. You can obviously modify or make the template the way you want. दिस वॉज अ वेरी सिंपल थिंग. ये बहुत सिंपल था जो मैंने बताया था बिकॉज 1.5 आवर में हमें कुछ चीज कंप्लीट करनी थी. इसके लिए हमने इस तरीके से कर दिया. एनोनिमस सर, व्हाट इफ वी हैव इन्वेंट्रीज. सर द थिंग इज इवन इफ यू हैव इन्वेंट्रीज व्हाट यू कैन डू इज then the only accounting part that remains is mentioning of inventory. At least आपका एंट्री तो हो गया टैली में. At least you got your entries imported into tally. Then just mention the inventory and get it done. Your time that you save is enormous. And at the same time, you don't have to worry also of casting posting errors. Why? Because you have imported from 2B. So there are no casting posting errors. While you manually enter into tally, you get some typos or your staff may have done some mistake or error. The error, the intensity of error reduces. Na? You don't get casting posting errors. This is the benefit. अरविंद गुप्ता जी नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. सर आपने जीएसटी रेट एंड रिलेटेड रिपोर्ट को स्किप कर दिया बिना उसके जीएसटी या 2A 2B और एनी उसमें अनसर्टेन ट्रांजैक्शन में दिखेगा. ओके, आई जस्ट टेल यू व्हाट. सी अंडरस्टैंड दैट इज व्हाई वी एंश्योर्ड दैट वी आर कॉन्फ़िगरिंग दिस थिंग जीएसटी पार्टी डिटेल्स ओवर हियर. वंस वी कॉन्फ़िगर इट ओवर हियर तो वो दिक्कत नहीं आती है. द क्वेश्चन दैट यू हैव फिर वो दिक्कत नहीं आती है वहां पर. यस. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट वी हैव. Please send template in Excel. Sir, I'll have a word with Komal ji how we can share and we'll see for it
Henik ji,
accordingly.
if you have the Excel file ready, usually we send it in the chat itself so that most people can get it because else they'll have to write to support. So, if is it
Okay.
possible for you to send it right now, or you need to delete some data or something?
हाँ नहीं नहीं I will have to. Let's see how we can take this thing
Okay,
up. Okay.
done.
Okay. I'll have to delete some data because yes, we'll have to take it that way. Okay. Sir, how to instruct ignore RCM entry? Okay, I'll just show it to you. Wait a second. Hold on. हाँ, RCM entry. Just give me a minute. Okay. Sir, first you have to go over here, exclude rows in Excel. You have to select yes. Then in the column header for Excel, you have to select the supply attract reverse charge column containing the value yes. This is how you have to do it. तो आपका ये solution हो जाएगा. Basically speaking, what we are doing is that sir, we are instructing कि RCM अगर जो भी है तो उसको yes करके ignore करें. Okay, we have the playlist over here. Mapping petty cash transaction. Sir, petty cash transaction, understand one thing, sir. From the mapping template perspective, understand. Let's take the purchase mapping template and I'll explain it to you how you can do the petty cash as well, sir. बहुत simple है. Understand. Your top ledger can be cash account that is fixed. Okay, or petty cash ledger that you have. Okay. And your bottom ledger will be the probable expense that you have. Now in your source file, what you have to do is ensure that all the bottom ledgers, that is the party ledger should be or party or the expense ledger as the case may be, should be created in tally so that आपका petty cash का भी auto accounting हो जाएगा. You will get the auto accounting done of petty cash as well. That's it. Let's see what do we have other queries. Okay. सर आप एक बार GSTR 2B का रिपोर्ट चेक करके देख लीजिए. Just give me a minute. Let me just see if there is some concern that we have. So basically, I believe, sir, the concern that you are having is that whenever we have multiple rates, till the time we have not mentioned the rate over here, it will show an error in the rate and related column, right? This is what your concern is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Pradeep ji, okay, whomsoever had that query, that is the concern. Okay, now understand, sir, you will have to, since we are short of time, You will have to refer to my video in relation to sales that I had shown. In the sales video, I have shown how to configure those things as well, so that your seamless accounting happens in Tally. Over here also, if you see, automatically we get this thing. Until the time we have not mentioned the HSN, obviously there is a possibility that it will show uncertain transactions. However, sir, our purpose currently is getting served, that we have automated the entries in Tally, and then later on, obviously for multiple purposes, you can modify the reports accordingly. Okay, what about exempt item, say 0%, sir? Then we will create a ledger of 0%, a simple ledger as a stock item master. The way we have created, say for example, for 18%, we will create it for 0. And either case, whenever there is a 0%, you are not going to have any rate over here, right? So automatically in the template that you have, the rate of the item will come to as 0 over here. It will automatically come to 0. It is just a matter of formula. Sir, can we have this TFF file so we can check with it? I'll see what all can be shared. Fine. Do we have another question over here? No. And okay, fine. The questions are answered, and this is done. Let me just throw with one more thing. Do we have and the GSTR to be reconciliation night track 3B activities, and we have it for me. Just a minute. Yes, sir. Sir, for all those who had a question that it will show in uncertain transactions, only 3 transactions have come in uncertain transactions, because there would be something that you have, there would be probably there in the multiple rate. So you have to correct that rate. Else, out of 47 transactions, 44 are automatically imported, and we can see the details over here. So once again, that is what the purpose is, that majority of your entries, if not all, sir, this is more than 90%. You've got 90% worth of automation right here with just creation of one mapping template, and that is the entire purpose of it, that it solves the purpose. You get the automation thing done.
Okay, I see. I think there are no further questions.
Hmm.
Yeah, there are few raised hands. Is it okay? I can
Uh,
unmute them.
okay, fine. Let's see, what do we have. Raised hands. I cannot see raised hands. You can see, please,
हाँ
you
हाँ,
can
I'll
unmute
just
them and
allow.
we can have a question.
Mr. Mahesh, do you want to ask a question? Mr. Duggi Shetty Sudhakaram and Mr. Nikhil Pushkana. I have unmuted you. If you want to ask your query, you can do that. Okay. Lot of replies and good session. Nice, informative. Yeah. Okay. So I think their question they must have raised by mistake or so. So I think we have completed on time. That's amazing, and so many questions answered at the same time. If you uh,
There is one
how
more question, Komalji. Just a
hmm
minute. There's a, sir, how to delete mapping import? Okay, wait a second. You alter this thing, okay, and then just go through it. Sir, are you getting an option over here below? Sir, or what you can do is you can just ignore it. If you get an option of deleting over here, fine, go ahead. Else, what you can do is just ignore the template. So you get an option of delete over here. Yes, Komalji, continue.
Nice. Okay. So, meanwhile, is there possible that we can at least send something deleted, or will you be able to send me later on?
Komalji, I'll be sending it to you later on. What you can do
Okay,
is
sure,
whenever
sure.
you
So
upload this
anyone
thing,
requesting for this, you can write to support@tallysolutions.com and our team will send it to you. Meanwhile, yeah, okay. Replying to how, okay. Thank you, Mr. Avnaya. So, Henik ji, a lot of people are complimenting the session is very informative, very good, and informative again, good session, and so on. So, thank you so much. Okay.
At its peak, we had 300 participants, more than 300
Yeah,
participants
yeah,
in
yeah,
session.
definitely. And today we actually extended our community, CA community forum to tax GSTP database also, because
Okay,
this topic was very important and I had received this request for so long. So I'd extended this CA Connect and made it to Tally Connect. So thank you
okay.
so much, Henik ji. And the recording is on. So I've already shared the link of the playlist and previous also, and separately of Henik sir about the sales data import. And you are always, you can be in touch with us through our CA community on WhatsApp. And as I requested and informed on the first thing, please do try Docs by Era, our AI powered document processor. And I'm sure you will love the automation part and your work will be much more faster and effective. Thank you so much, Henik ji. I'll now end the session. Thank you.
Sure, sure, sure. Please, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you.